Greetings from New York City. Thanks for stopping by. This is Chris Franco, and I have to admit, I never thought I would be making a video about Andrew Tate, and I don't plan on talking about kind of the same takes or having the same Tate takes that I've heard most people have. Partly because, well, I think it's already been said, and two, this channel is about investing, it's about making money, and I want to talk about things from that angle. So let me get into this, and I'm going to share this article that I've not read yet, but I want to read because I think it'll illustrate my point. Andrew Tate, obviously the guy knows how to make himself popular. I'm not going to get into all the allegations. There's plenty of channels talking about that. But what I want to talk about is the ways that you can go about making money. It's something that I feel like is being totally ignored by the Tate faithful. And, this is just something that, maybe they had a blind spot to. But integrity counts. And if you want to make a lot of money in life, it helps to have a long window where you can be making money. Long time horizons matter a lot. Based on the way that Andrew Tate makes his money, and not allegedly, I'm talking to how he actually makes his money, the ways that he describes it. These are the types of businesses that if you start and you get involved with, they severely limit your ability to make more money later. They cut off your chances of, being able to associate with people that you'd want to associate with. And, that's not me speaking with an opinion. I'm talking, from experience and looking at things as objectively as I can. So let's talk about what they do or how they make their money. And this comes from an article where they're interviewed in the Sunday Mirror, which I believe is a UK-based publication. It says exclusive. And this was published, by the way, on June 29th of 2022. I'm going to read this article here and then we can discuss. It says that two brothers are raking in millions from webcam sites where men hand over a fortune as they fall for models' fake sob stories. Callous, Tristan, and Andrew Tate admit their business is a total scam. Okay, full stop. If you say your business is a total scam, this is what I'm talking about. Like, who's going to work with you? You can be the king of the scumbags, but what does that really mean? You can't go anywhere with that. Again, integrity counts. You could be an alpha male and have integrity. But I digress. They admit their business is a total scam, but say the authorities cannot stop them. They claim to run a studio where 75 lingerie-clad models take calls from fans paying $4 a minute. Punters, which I don't even know what that means. Is there a word? A player who punts, that's the U.S. That's what our dictionary says here in America. I imagine that's some slang. They can ask for private shows and pay tips at their own risk. Tristan says one man handed over his $20,000 inheritance, while others have run up huge debts. And the kickboxing brothers, raised on a council estate, sit back and watch the money roll in. Tristan, 33, and Andrew, 35, own 22 cars, including a Bugatti, a Rolls Royce, a Ferrari, 2 Lamborghinis, and a 650,000-pound Aston Martin Valhalla on order. Just a side note, if you're making money this year, some of the worst things to buy are cars. They depreciate immediately. They once had a private jet. Both have posed up with guns, and Andrew, 35, who was on TV's Big Brother in 2016, was pictured counting mounds of cash. Some of their customers fall for the belief that they can have a real relationship with women they see on screen. But Tristan brazenly told the Sunday Mirror that it's all a big scam, and bragged that he doesn't feel any guilt because no one cares, and it's their problem, not mine. Nice guys. These are good group, good team here. The brothers grew up in Luton, setting up their first webcam studio in a 2-bed flat in the Bedfordshire town a decade ago. It'd be funny if they were the webcam girls initially, they dressed in drag. They're like, we gotta fake it till we made it, guys. I digress. After 3 years, they moved to Romania, saying the UK had gone downhill, and they have women on a number of seedy sites. Operators take a 40% cut, and the rest goes to the studio. The more punters hand over, the more models earn. Some women will claim to have crippling university debt, a family member in need of a private healthcare, or a dream of moving to the UK, sometimes even telling men they want to meet them. Whatever the excuse is, it is a lie, Tristan said. He believes he is beyond the reach of the authorities because of 2 lines in the terms and conditions. He said, one is that broadcasting is for entertainment purposes only, and that means if a model says she has a sick dog or a sick grandma, it doesn't have to be true. The next is that all cash given to models is a voluntary sign of gratitude for their time broadcasting. Lawyer Paul Hampson, owner of CEL Solicitors in Liverpool, said UK laws haven't kept up with technology, which allows constant communication and instant access to online banking. Of the terms and conditions claim, he said, if they're implying different things and it's beyond the scope of that online contact, that's not okay. A term of a contract has to be fair. You can't just have a unilateral term in there to say everything we do is fine. Andrew said one model they took to Bucharest used the name Chloe. Viewers were told she was in London, making her seem more attainable to UK men. Andrew added, $4 a minute to keep her company was a good deal. However, she made real money because men fell in love with her and believed her fake story and tipped thousands to keep her attention and stop other men seeing her. Even when the face of the personality was sleeping, our girls behind the scenes would use Chloe's phone and constantly work on their relationships with her boyfriends. It's a total scam. The model just has their hands on a keyboard that isn't even plugged in. I have real professionals who are fluent in English behind the scenes getting men hooked, finding out their interests, the name of their dog, etc. A guy will come online and they'll say, "How's Sparky?" It's an operation of professionals who lure these men in. I can't believe you would say this to the press. Like, the hubris in making these statements is unbelievable. I would imagine this will lead to the downfall. You know, people that are doing businesses like this, they're not trying to be public figures, which is another, people say how smart these guys are. This is an example of, they might be smart, like they might do well on a standardized test, but this is not smart. Just beyond the fact of it being low integrity and not something you'd ever want to be associated with, to go out and say these things publicly is, how else do you describe it as other than stupid? Tristan said 80% of money earned by British models came from men in the UK, but if a model is Slovakian, 80% comes from Americans. It's a little stat, a little fun fact there. He said he once tried to stop a man spending his £20,000 inheritance on Chloe, but gave up when the punter came back weeks later and gave the money to another woman. Men will give all they have, he said. I've seen men sell cars, TVs, and with Chloe, this guy's grandma passed away and they were waiting for the sale of the house. When the house was sold, he'd get £20,000 and promised it to Chloe to pay for her fake financial problem. We had his phone number. I was only a year into the industry. I called the guy. I said, "Hello, I know you use myfreecams.com. Let me tell you, Chloe works at a studio I own. Financially, she's fine. Keep your $20,000, I do it again, the ignorant American. Keep your £20,000. I gave him this advice. He thanked me. He deleted his username from the site. But weeks later, the man visited another site, and Tristan told staff to take him for everything he's got. I'm not laughing because that's a good thing. I'm laughing because of just how much of a scumbag this guy is. I'm sorry, dude. And then to go and say this to the press, these guys are not smart. Tristan said he runs a legitimate business, and if they abuse it, it's their problem. He added, the addiction in terms of a beautiful woman you think that might be in love with you, the addiction is very real. I've seen it crush them. They've turned violent and angry when they run out of money and realize models aren't going to move to Utah to be with them in their trailer. The women can earn a fortune too. One, a Londoner named Jessica, 29, used to work for the brothers and said several men paid thousands to cover the cost of a boob job. She now works for OnlyFans, where users pay for content and earns £10,000 a month. Former bathroom designer Jessica owns homes in Romania and the UK and admits, when it was the guys who were in love with me, I did feel guilty. A note on MyFreeCam's website says, tips are gifts. If you have a specific request for a model, talk to her about it and perhaps invite her to a private show. Tip at your own risk. A source for Action Fraud said there are numerous reports of women on these websites making requests for financial assistance. A government spokesman said, dishonestly making false representations for financial gain is against the Fraud Act 2006. To strengthen protection, we are bringing in the Online Safety Bill, which will create a proactive duty on social media companies to tackle fraud on their platforms. So, again, this is not judge and jury, but it sounds like they have a business that facilitates fraud and does something that I think is just gross. Women just doing OnlyFans there's a lot more integrity in that because they don't have a pimp. At least they can get the money directly. But it sounds like these guys are playing the role of digital pimp, not making allegations, just observing what I'm reading in the media here. Unbelievable that they would have talked to the media and said things like this. It just shows us a certain level of hubris. Hubris and greed are a dangerous mix. You know, they're typically the root causes of many human tragedies. And we've talked about this before on the podcast as well as on this YouTube channel. So, you know, when you have low integrity and you do low integrity things, it typically doesn't work out very well. It's not, at the end of the day, you don't get 2 goes at integrity. And, you know, Andrew Tate is thinking, I think, very short term, because the people that you really want to do business with, the people you want to have, you want your family to be proud of you. You don't want to embarrass people. You know, you wouldn't be involved in something like this. And if you were involved with something like this, you wouldn't be so loud about it. So that's all I wanted to bring up. I'm not, you know, trying to make some bigger point, and I think there's lots of other allegations that they're going to have to address in the court of law, and that's not what this channel's about. But I think when it comes to making money, integrity counts, and that's something that, you know, I'm not sitting on my high horse saying that. I'm saying that as someone who, you know, I've seen people come for the fast buck and do really low grade things, and they really, you know, that's sort of it for them, and that's even when it's not illegal. And it sounds like what these guys have been doing, based on what they're facing right now, is unfortunately for their fans, I think it's a little bit more than some conspiracy theory. I don't think many people set up shop in Romania because they love Romania. And I know, by the way, I have friends who are from Romania that came to the United States. Nothing against Romania, but you know, I just need a little common sense here. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm not, by the way, if you're one of these like Andrew Tate lover boys, which, by the way, no pun intended, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm not some hater. I'm not jealous of any of these guys. I'm not impressed either. Integrity counts, guys. All right? You could be an alpha male and still have integrity.